That's the bit you were all waiting for, wasn't it? Good morning, it's another cold day. I now have my O-rings. There's a little road trip video from when I collected these from Volvo yesterday. So I can put my new heater matrix in and hopefully that is all of the leaks resolved on this car. So join me while we get this done. Little bit of a proviso. First thing you should do before doing any job on your Volvo 850 is see if Robert DIY's done a video on it, because his are always better than mine.
Hi, my name is Robert.
But I'm going to show you how to do it, and hopefully things won't go too wrong along the way. So there's two names for a heater matrix or a heater core or heat exchanger. It's essentially a radiator. Two radiators in your car, one at the front where cold air goes in, and then that cold air cools the water down, which goes around the engine, cools the engine down, and then one at the back where the hot water that has come from the engine goes into the cabin to be blown into your face as warm air. This heat exchanger or heater matrix here mounts at the back there in that little plastic recess, and there's two hoses that you can see, aluminium hoses. They were steel on the earlier 850s and they tend to rust. Mine is a 96, so it's one of the last 850s. It's a diesel as well. That was only available 1 year, which was 1996, and not in America, sorry guys. So I've got aluminium pipes as well, so they shouldn't be rusty. If your heater matrix is going bad, chances are, or to be honest, if any of the seals have gone, you'll have coolant dripping down into your footwell. I've had this for a little while now, but it's got really bad over the last week. And since the car's been parked up and the weather's gone cold as well, I don't know if those two things are connected, there's now very little coolant left in my reservoir. So today's the day to do the job. So for better access, I'm just going to remove this panel. You'll notice, obviously, should have mentioned this earlier, clearly all of my carpets and underlay are out and my floors are painted gold. Go back to my Volvo 850 restoration playlist on this car and you can see why I paint the floors gold.
I love gold.
I just like it. So a couple of T25s and this panel's going to come out. There we go, that's done then quite simply. There's one T25 there and one over here, and both of those are out. Strange that those are different. There we go. That'll give me a little bit extra access to everything that we need to get in there to complete the task at hand. Thanks, Robert, you are an actual legend. There's two little screws to take out. There and there and there. So there's three to get at. That one is a T15. I think Robert said that one of these was a T25. So I'll get these out and then we'll see how we go. Right, let's do the other side. Again, just take the panel off beneath the driver's side, just for better access. Now we need to go around the other side because we need to remove the little T25 or T15 that is in between the two pipes there. If you came here for the moment when I get covered in coolant, it's coming up. I thought the camera was going to fall over the minute, didn't it? So here we are down right between the heater matrix. That's the bit you were all waiting for, wasn't it? Yeah. Thankfully, my floors are already metal, so let's sop all this coolant up. There we have it. It definitely took a little bit of fiddling, mostly because you've got these cables here that are in the way. It just makes it really tricky for that to come out. You see the old O-rings on there, trying not to move this pipe too much because the coupling's at the back, at the top, the quick coupling, are notorious for breaking as well. So I'll try very carefully to get all this back together. That is the old core. You can see that it's pink with coolant at the top there. And then what you do basically is you take this apart by unpopping all of these screws here and attaching your new one instead. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Right, I'm going to dry these floors up as best I can before I go on to the next step. In fact, I'll take it inside to do that, but yeah, and go make another cup of tea. In the kitchen now, trying to warm up. Little T15s, 1, 2, 3, 4. Pop those off, and then we'll get this old heat exchanger out of that sort of holder and put this one on. So this is genuine Volvo. This one is male, I think. M-A-H-L-E. Better known for B&W stuff, but they're usually pretty good quality, so we should be okay. It was slightly damaged. I didn't realise when I bought it, but it should be fine for what I want it for. Okay, that's now off. You can see the old one there. new one there. There's a lot of gunk and stuff in the old heat exchanger. So let's get this all back together and buttoned up. I'm going to give my bracket a good clean as well. I could also recommend, if you're doing this in winter as well, have a really nice winter broth in the slow cooker. Really keeps your kitchen warm, and I'm looking forward to that later on because it is freezing. Right, get all that cleaned up, see if we can get it all buttoned up and put it back together. Got this brand new seal to put on as well, which goes around the edge. It just sort of sits in this recess along here. And you can see this one, it is all just flaking apart. But it's almost 30 years old, so it's kind of to be expected really. So I'll get that new seal on as accurately as I can. Then we're ready to attach it to the cradle. I'll tell you what confused me. There's no seal or sealant or gasket that goes between the black piece here, which is the part of the core, and the cradle. I just found that a bit odd. Should there be some sort of sealant on there? I checked the Robert DIY video and there isn't on his. Let me know what you think. But anyway, I'm gonna finish up now. Back out of the car now then, the coolant's gone. I'm just trying to dry things up, trying to clean under there a little bit before I put everything back in, because I know it's tricky to get this in. So I'm just going to try and wipe that down. I've cable tied those two cables together just to keep that out of the way. I'm a bit concerned about getting this back in. So I'm going to try and make the job as easy as possible by getting myself prepared, basically. Make myself as much space as possible, make sure all my cables are out of the way, tidy up a little bit of the cabling behind the stereo at the same time. And then I can tackle getting the heat exchanger back in. All right then, give myself some space. Cable tied this one up out the way as well. Try and get that clear, hasn't really worked that well. Now, moment of truth, you can see the O-rings on there. Those have got to come off, so I'll pop those off now. 1, 2. I really don't want to move that too much. Okay, this is the bit I'm worried about. That goes on quite nicely. Great, that was easier than I expected. Okay, next bit. This next bit involved quite a lot of farting around, a little bit of swearing, and a lot of sort of jiggery pokery, but eventually I did get it in place. Be patient and you'll do it. All right, we are buttoned up. I've put some coolant in. I'm going to start the car now and run it up and see what happens. I would say it absolutely helps if you're a gymnast, because at one point I was lying on my back with my head up in there and my legs hanging out the door. Yeah, can be a right pain of a job. What is confusing me though is I've ended up with this bolt here. Now, I really hope that I've put the correct bolt in the back there. That's the only one that I'm concerned about. But you watched me on video check it all. There's a hole there as well, but I'm pretty sure, I've looked back through my video and I'm pretty sure that hole was always there. So, let's try it. Let's start the car. So, the car's running, coming up to temp. Turn the blowers off so you can hear me, and it looks like I might have fixed that. Doesn't seem to be any leaking coming from there. I don't think. So, I'd say that was a job done. I'm going to leave it like this and hope that it carries on to not leak. Otherwise, brilliant. My car is, well, it's never going to be finished, is it? You own a car like this, it's a passion project. You never finish it. But I've stopped the water coming out and I've stopped the water coming in. Brilliant.